Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your first matchday ticket for the 2022-23 season for our away game. It's not our first matchday ticket, it's our first away matchday ticket. Of course, today we are playing Forest Green away at the new lawn. Cruncher is there. His message to say this place is unreal. I don't know if he means that in a good way or a bad way, but all the same, he is there. Hopefully, returning back to Suffolk with 3 wonderful points. We are 8 minutes away from team news. We will bring that to you the moment we have it. And I'm looking forward just to seeing how the afternoon just unravels, just to see how we go. As always, do not forget to hit that like button. That does help us out. Hit subscribe if you should so want to. And of course, you can contribute through Ko-Fi or through our or by becoming a YouTube member. Right, joining me for this first away day of the campaign, 2 wonderful people, one of which is sat in the VIP area waiting to come in. Ross Smith says Norwich are losing. They certainly are. I had eyes on Norwich before I went live. A player of theirs was writhing in pain. Didn't look too good. I hope it's nothing too serious. Never wish a serious injury on any player. 3 points for Jem today. That's what he wants. And Chris says, open the floodgates. Let's stick 6 past them. Well, time will tell. Time will tell. Joining me today, first of all, is resident Big Fish, Tom James. Tom, how are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thank you. How are you?
Very well, very well. You were saying before we went live that you got a little bit of a hangover.
Yeah, a little bit. It's all right. I'm just about shaking it off with Pepsi Max, and I think I'll be having a tea brought to me shortly.
Oh, a cup of tea and a Pepsi Max. That is, I mean, you're just missing the bacon sandwich, and then you got the trifactor of hangover cures.
Yeah, I had a fry up this morning. We're fine.
There we go. Good man. Jem says he's been at Forest Green. It's so small you can't believe a league team is situated there. It's honestly a village. It is teeny tiny. 5,000 is the capacity of Nowsworth. We had over 10,000 views last week, Tom.
Yeah, I was looking at going because you could go in the away end if you were clever about it, and they were selling tickets all over the stadium without many checks. But yeah, it just turned out it was a bit of a jaunt, especially after probably what happened to me last night. So I probably wouldn't have driven anyway. Yeah, it seems like an interesting place. Tiny. A lot of people getting rattled by the fact they sell vegan food. I don't understand that really, but oh well. If you're upset, eat some meat before the game.
Not something, yeah, absolutely. Coxie says he needs the right link. It's amazing, Tom, because he got the same link you got. So I don't know what Coxie's doing in Lowestoft there, but or wherever he may well be today. But yeah, so there has been a little bit made of the vegan stuff, hasn't there?
I don't get it. It's just like let them do their thing.
There's nothing more tetchy than meat eaters. I think when you get told, I just think it's. I don't know. I don't understand it myself. Apparently, Norwich have equalised. Look, people, my friends, Norwich and Norwich. Forget what they do. I know you don't want to hear it, but they're a little way ahead of us at the moment. Forget what they do. Focus on what we do. And today we kick off our away 23 game slate. Obviously to Forest Green. What is your chosen lineup today, Tom? Before we get the news in 4 minutes' time, what would you like to see be the lineup?
I think same as last week. I'd pick the same team. Before
you'd go on unchanged.
I'd now keep it unchanged. Yeah. Last week when we were at the statue before the game, I wanted Greg Lee in for Davis, and I still would have wanted that at the time. But he's clearly going to play, and I would like to see a settled team. I think John Jules and Jackson will come on again late, should that be the lineup, and then they'll just terrorise him, I'm sure. I think that's a good way to do it for us because they've got the pace and they're just a nightmare. And I think they will be a nightmare for loads of teams in this division, particularly in the last 20, 30 minutes. The 5 sub rule is going to be great for us, I think.
Possibly so. We saw a little bit of a glimpse of it last week. Rob Holmes, afternoon, all tough game today, but we need to win and then push on from there. Right, he's finally here. He is our resident Bricktop, Peter Cox. Peter, hello, sir.
Good afternoon, bonus test.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Are you well?
I believe so. Yes. Unless you know something I don't.
No. Well, I knew that you had the right link. I was worrying as to why you couldn't get it to work, but you're here. You're looking great. You're sounding great. Tell me, Tom wants an unchanged lineup. What do you want, Coxie? Would you make a couple of tweaks to it?
Well, that's sort of been alluded to. I think Greg Lee will probably come in and start today. I think he'll switch it today and have our sort of the Leaf will probably come on. The roles a bit, I think, will be reversed today. I think for how he played, and the Leaf is still a bit, still growing into the role. So yeah.
you'd bring Lee in to start for Davis. Further up the pitch, obviously, Luco didn't make the 11 last week. Would he make the 11 for you today?
I hope so. I think instead of Harness, who, as much as I reflected upon the game last week, I still can't recall actually what he'd done in the game. I mean, also I'm down in the Sir Bobby end, and perhaps you need Ben Adams to say what he actually done in the first half, because all I remember him doing in the second half was giving the ball away. So, not a good debut by Harness next week. So last week, should I say? Yeah.
So a Luco would come in for you. To partner with Chaplin and Ladapo, or would you bring in, as Rob Holmes asks, anyone think TJJ would start today?
No, that's okay. Keep T double J for the impact player again. I think, and for me, he's more of an impact player. Yeah, put the Luco on there with Connor Chapman, who's going to be player of the season. So
okay, that's what you particularly want to see starting today. We'll find out what is starting in 60 seconds time. We will bring it to you the moment I've got it on my screen here. I've got a couple of questions, one from Mark last night about result today, how important it is. We've got Ladapo finishing, how important he might be. But before we go any further, we are doing the prediction league with the Rainbow Tractors. The link is in the chat if you want to do it. It's 3 questions, one of which is your name, so you should at least get one of the questions correct. Depending how heavy that hangover is there, TJ. You never know. If it's heavy, you might get your name wrong. But yeah, we're doing it in association with the Rainbow Tractors, so get on it, my friends, and let's see where it goes from there. Right, I'm just trying to grab the screen because I will screen share. I will screen share the team news once I have it. So I'm on the Ipswich Town Twitter page. 23 minutes ago, they tweeted, "Town fans, make sure you give yourselves enough time to get up the hill to the ground."
Yeah, apparently it's really, really steep and very long. So,
really?
Yeah, and obviously it's such a small place. Like the parking's just a bit. You have to go into town to park and ride up.
Here we go. Your team news for today is Walton, Donatian, Edmondson, Burgess, Burns, Evans, Morsey, Davis, Chaplin, Harness, and Ladapo. George Edmondson not on the bench. Let me bring this team to you in large. There it is. That's your team on the screen. Your subs are Hladky, Lee, Vincent Young, Luco, Edwards, John Jules, and Caden Jackson. So I think Edmondson starts. It's Wolfenden not there. My apologies. Perhaps he's picked up an injury. Okay. So the first thing we need to discuss there, I guess, is Burgess coming in for Wolfenden, who doesn't make the bench, Tom. We have to guess that's an injury, right?
Has to be. I mean, he's not getting dropped. So, yeah, it's got to be injured, which is a big shame. But that will be Edmondson, centre of the back 3. I'm pretty comfortable with that still, to be honest. We've got some good height in there with Burgess coming in as well. So, yeah, I saw last week that Forest Green scored from a defender and a midfielder. So, I can't remember what the goals were like. Maybe they were set plays or whatever. But I think some aerial presence going away to a Cauldron in Nailsworth will be probably good for us. So yeah,
possibly.
Shane Wolf is not there, but I think it's okay.
Yeah, Edmondson in that middle section, Coxie. It's almost a ready-made position for George Edmondson. Many fans during the week were actually asking, could he play there instead of Wolfie and move Wolfie to the left? So it could be a good game or a big game for Edmondson to show his worth in that central 3, right?
Yeah, it's his chance today with Wolf. Hopefully, as people are saying, it is illness for Wolfie, and he's not going to be anything long term, because since he's come back, it's been absolutely immense. Yeah, but Edmondson, now's your chance, son. You're in the middle there. Show us what you can do. Keep them out.
Absolutely, yeah. Burgess over possibly Corey and Darber. Coxie, does that surprise you at all? Is it always Burgess's gig to lose as first man up?
he's always got to be the first reserve to come in there if any of Edmondson or Wolfie's injured or unavailable. So yes, like for like, and he was all right for us towards the end of the season when we lost Edmondson. So
yeah. Oh, you came in back in the last year, Tom. Obviously for Edmondson, who's injured and played respectively. Not respectively well, because it's what you expect for nearly £1 million defender.
Yeah, apart from his stupid 2 yellow cards, whatever it was. Apart from that, he was good, wasn't he?
And the Oxford goal.
Yeah. Oh, and the less said about that, the better.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I think it's fine. He's part of the more senior group of players in the squad as well. So I think just an extra bit of experience around the squad generally is good for us. And he seems like McKenna likes him around the place. So I've no problem with him being there.
I think you're both spot on in your assessment. It was always Burgess's gig as a first man up to sort of lose. I was just thinking this morning, I want the 2 centre halves either side of the middleman. So today, obviously Burgess and Donashin to really get involved in the play, because I really think they're going to be a pivotal outlet, a pivotal extra man when we've got that ball and dominating an attack, Coxie, because I expect Forest Green to be the home team, to be playing on a crest of a wave, but we to dominate the ball. And when you dominate the ball away from home and you create a situation where you have that's when you need your 2 centre halves in the back three to really come and join in and be on the ball.
Yeah, we know what it's going to be like. This is the moment they've been waiting for. This is this is their first home game since they're coming into League One. That this will be one of the home games that the supporters have been looking for. Ipswich and Sheff Wednesday and Derby. So we know it's going to be. They're going to come at town. It's going to be gung ho. So we just need to hold firm. And he said, if the centre backs can sort of bring the ball down and start playing it about, and we just take the sting out of the game, and hopefully get an early goal just to shut things up, and then just take it from there, just take control, and then score the second one, second half. Be good enough for me.
Yeah, Lloyd says let's shit house a 1-0. Obviously, the bench there, Tom, suggests it should an injury arise to one of the back three. That's Edmondson, Burgess, and Donashin. A back four is more on the cards, because there's 2 fullbacks on the bench, not a centre half to step in should one of them get injured.
Yeah, unless KVY can do that job. We don't know. I think he was tried in a back three at one point.
I wouldn't want to see it.
I wouldn't want to see it. But yeah, you would think it'd be a back four. Lee, KVY, even Edwards could probably play at fullback if he really wanted to. But yeah, it's a very attacking bench. It's very attacking bench, isn't it? Like even the defenders are attacking defenders. So
absolutely. And it should be. We were right at Forest Green. No disrespect to Forest Green, who, we know from last year the promoted teams causes a little bit of issue. We'll come on to that record in a moment. Further up the field, it's an unchanged 3. Coxie in the sense of Chaplin, Harness, and Ladapo. Who needs to perform a little bit better than last week, because both men, Harness and Ladapo, drew their critics, but also had their plaudits. So you mentioned Harness at the start of the show. Do you want to see a little bit more from him today away from home? Without less pressure?
I don't want to say a little bit more. I want to say a hell of a lot more. It was said by, the Portsmouth fans that, he is a bit in and out. So hopefully if that was a bad game last week, it'll be a better game this week. Ladapo for me was, a bit isolated. He's playing the one up front. I mean, he done it. He's probably the best to do that role on the present staff we've got. But the McKenna for me has got to think of a way of linking him better. Yeah, so he's not isolated.
Ladapo up top on his own, / with the 2 behind him, but probably on his own. Last week was very isolated, Tom. Didn't really get a sniff of goal. When he did, he sort of snatched at it a little bit. Somebody on yesterday's Friday show said, will he find his scoring boots today? Is this the day where he gets himself up and running a competitive action off the mark with a goal?
Possibly. I think we're going to score 3. So maybe it'll be one of them. I'd like to see Chaplin and Harness get a bit closer to him, so they're a bit more of a support up there, because like you said, he was isolated last week and there wasn't enough from especially Harness, I thought. But his debut will give him the rub of the green that he'll get better, hopefully. But yeah, just a bit more support to Ladapo just to help his game a bit, I think would be better. But I think we can do it. It's a good opportunity against Forest Green, with all respect to them and where they've come from. But yeah, we really should be turning up and doing the business, I think.
Yeah, Leif Davis, as debuts go, it couldn't really have got much worse for the lad outside of maybe a sending off for an own goal, Coxey. He's away from home. Matt yesterday said he'd maybe take him out of the firing line in the sense of, play Lee, let him acclimatise, let him, get used to his team, his teammates, etc., etc. But he's in the team today, as I expected him to be. He's away at Forest Green, 5,000 capacity. Does he just need to sort of get into the game as quickly as possible, get a few touches in nice and early, and just settle and play what ability we all know he's got?
Yeah, I think so. He's had a week. This is a week on from last week. He's had a week to get to know his teammates a little better. Obviously, it's going to take still a bit of time, and I'm not going to mention the G word that we loved last season. It'd be, I said a couple of touches, perhaps. Like I said, we're going to have the 5,000 people cauldron there, but yeah, if he takes sort of the sting out there, a couple of good touches early on, yeah, it'd be okay. Yeah, one for me is, you did see a glimpse of it last week. There was, one time he got the ball, he went down the wing there. Absolute electric pace. I want to see that a bit more. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can bring, Tom, to the party once he gets himself feet under the table and gets used to playing in that blue and white.
Yeah, it'll only come with time, won't it? So yeah, hopefully he kicks on today. As for the other new boys as well, there's about 5 of them, isn't there, that played last week? So yeah, we've got to give them a little bit of time.
We have been a lot of talk about how Forest Green are going to play today, Tom. Are they going to come and sit men behind the ball? Are they going to come and play their style? A few people I've spoken to from the Forest Green camp probably going to be largely unchanged. I'll check that in a momento. But play our style. It's our home game. It's our first home league fixture in League One action. We're going to come and play the way we play. Is that going to suit us today if we've got opposition that's going to play open?
Possibly. I think McKenna touched on it in his pre-match interview as well, that he hopes that they play open because it will just make for a better game and it will probably suit us better as well. I think I could see from their last game, they played some sort of 3-5-2 with a couple of wing backs. So they just flooded the midfield. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It's not a direct matchup, which I think is good for us. Won't be too stale, hopefully. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope they do try and play their own game, because the worst thing we want is another team sitting back and us getting frustrated. But it should be on us to know how to unlock that. So hopefully we've learned a lot from the second half of last season. But
this is it.
Hopefully they will be open. I mean, if they are, come on, McKenna, unleash hell upon them. That's just happy days for us. We're there.
Yeah, we're often criticised about being unable to break a team down. So if a team does play as open as we are discussing here, I would like to see us sort of pick them apart, show the quality that many people on paper think the squad has got. And it has got undoubted quality, Tom. It's just, last year we took 4 points from 22 against promoted sides. 3 points today would be almost 100% of last year's target. But we've got to beat the teams such as Forest Green, Exeter, Port Vale and Co. to be even in the conversation for a top 6, let alone top 2 finish. How important? Because Mark Dowling said yesterday, don't win, that's almost season over. Now, I'm not subscribing to that myself. It's only the second game of the campaign, but you can almost see where he's coming from. You have to right the wrongs from last year. And one of the major wrongs from last year was only 4 from 22. So how important is today and 3 points coming back down the M5?
It is important. It's not season ending if we don't win the game, but it is important to get that monkey off our back. Just like the monkey that we've got is 3 wins in a row. Why can't we do that? Just like I want to see these things just like disappear from last season and even the seasons before, because we haven't won 3 in a row, I think, since Magilton years, maybe, which is ridiculous.
A while.
Yeah, so yes, we just need to get that off our back, really. But yeah, I really want to see us make a statement. We're away from home, a bit less pressure. There'll be a lot of like carnival atmosphere for Forest Green, given his first game in this division against one of the biggest teams. But yeah, I want to see our players not care about that. They've not got 27,000 people in front of them. They've got, how many have they got in that stadium? Is it 5? Is it
5,000? I think maximum.
Yeah. So yeah, really just rock up and just do the business. It's like, come on, I think we can do it.
But we do know, Coxie, that League One is a marathon and not a sprint. If the worst was to happen today, and I'm calling the worst anything but a win, it's a marathon, not a sprint, right? We've got to keep our feet on the ground, keep perspective. Whether we rock up, win 5-0, or come away losing 1-0, you've got to keep those feet on the ground. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It is a marathon, not a sprint. It certainly is a marathon. It's almost a triathlon, really. How many games we have to play? Yeah, it's not the end of the world, but there will be questions, and we'll be saying, come on, this is, as Tom beautifully said, it's one of the very many monkeys we've got to get off our backs if we are to progress and are to be back in the championship and get out of this godforsaken league. We've got to beat these teams who have come up. We were diabolical. We got 4 points, like you said. We get 3 today, and that's almost, that monkey is almost gone. But so many monkeys we have to get rid of this season. It
does show how poor of a record it was last year, when you could almost equal it with your first hit. But that's the reason why we're sitting here playing Forest Green and not perhaps sitting here at half time in an East Anglian derby like Wigan are, because they had the record that teams that get promoted need to have against the teams that are going to get relegated or have just been promoted, etc., etc. Craig, I like this selection. Keep the same 11, a place for everyone on the bench. Now let's win town. Lewis Robinson, Burgess might not be a bad thing as he can go up against the aerial presence of Jamil Matt. Lloyd can't have a slow start. That guaranteed us mid-table. Rob, we have to win games like this if we want to get promoted. Winning breeds confidence going forward. Dave says I'm going to be really negative. 1-1. Dave, you're not alone in that prediction though, my man. You're really not. The bench, looking at it, is pacey. Greg Lee is no slouch. Kyle Edwards, Caden Jackson, Tyrese John Jules, all fast players. Then you've got Aluko, of course, with the technical ability. But the pace really jumps out at me, Tom, that if we need to stretch a game, if we need to chase a game, McKenna has those options this year to put it on 2-3 really fast players.
Yeah, scary looking at it. It's just like there's so much pace on that bench. And then, I like the look of it a lot. It's just like gung-ho. It feels like in this league, the Peterborough of old, like when they would score 100 goals a season and it would just be like relentless, but except we won't be conceding as many goals as they would. But yeah, I just think it's great. Like you said with Aluko, just that technical kind of calm things down a bit. I thought he did a good job when he came on last week without really like penetrating behind the lines, but I thought he calmed stuff down. We spread the ball across the pitch well. We just couldn't convert it. But I thought he did a good job, and I think there's a nice balance there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing if Edwards gets a go at some point. I think that might be the case if we're winning and in a comfortable position, but probably stick to what we did last week to start with, because I think, Jackson and TJJ were excellent when they came on.
I have to think, Coxie, though, that the McKenna and Pert, the law consultancy firm, really view Sonny Aluko as that midfield cover, because you're going into today's game with Evans and Morsey and no recognised central midfield player, no Elmirs, no Humphreys, no recognised central midfield player on that bench. So I can only assume McKenna and Pert really view Aluko as that stand-in should we need it.
It would seem so, yeah. And looking at that, like I said, he's the only sort of real sort of central what's the games from Alternate Joe Cook, low stuff, right? Okay. It is sort of, as it said, they obviously view our Aluko or Collins' favourite Aluko as that central midfielder cover. It's a bit of a gamble if one of them gets injured or Morsey decides he's going to be, Braveheart out there and try to take on everybody single-handedly and get a few cautions against him. Yeah, it could be better. But going back to the bench, I mean, we said all the way along that with McKenna that he likes pacey sides, and that looking at that bench sort of sums it up beautifully. There's so much pace on it, so much what we believed is McKenna's, what he wants out of his side, a good pacey side, yeah.
Still missing another number 9, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
That's the biggest standout.
Jackson, don't do it for you.
Absolutely.
Jackson, don't do it for you.
I'd probably be putting another number 9 over Edwards at the minute on that bench.
Okay.
But
yeah, no, I think that's fair. I think that's very fair. Yeah, I think they obviously are in the market for a striker. But the longer it goes on, the more chance you get. If you're Caden Jackson to step off the bench and make a mark. We do need that impact player, don't we, Tom? We've not had that for a couple of years. The player where he undresses on the sidelines, the board goes up, and everyone in the stadium goes, "Oh, he's bringing him on! Brilliant! This is going to change the game." We haven't had that for a while. We need that person to stand up and step forward, don't we? Sooner than later.
Yeah, we definitely need it. So, yeah, I just hope one of these lot can do it. Like, if we are struggling today and we can't break them down, then we need someone who can do that because. Yeah, it's been a massive struggle for us last season and even under Lambert era, which we won't talk too much about. But yeah, we just need to crack this League One nut, which is really frustrating at times.
We do.
I think as other people are saying, that the more time goes on and we're getting towards, I know there's sort of, 3 weeks still of the transfer window. Does it make you think, are they in the market for a Premier League striker on loan, somebody, a young player? They're waiting to get their squads together, and now they only started today. The Premier League prima donnas. So, are we gonna get one of them?
I was listening to BBC Radio Derby on Monday because I was obviously up that way, and
on your fantastic internet.
No, in the car on the way in.
Oh, the car. That's all right. That's a safe bet then.
But it was actually fine, and there was a really interesting conversation was going on, and primarily it was about young player on loan from the Premier League. They were rumoured with Lewis Dobbin from Everton, Tom, and the analyst on there was saying, I think he was an analyst from the football club, or certainly once worked with the football club, that you'll see a lot of those younger players from the Premier League move in the latter part of the window. But something he said stuck out to my mind. He said, you've seen some head-scratching moves in this window, particularly from Ipswich, who have got 5 left-sided players. We have got 5 left-sided players, but not a real second number 9, as you're alluding to there. Is that a head-scratching move, or is he been a little bit over the top there?
Don't know, really. 5 left-sided players. What? Left-footed players? Is that what this person means?
I couldn't challenge him. I wasn't on the show, sadly. But I think you got Leif Davis, Greg Lee, Matt Penny. That's 3. Then you're going to have, obviously, Carl Edwards is 4 and John Jules 5.
Well, fair enough. Well, yeah. Well,
I just thought it was interesting. That's how an outsider, obviously, is viewing the business done by a bit of a head-scratching move. Whether it is or not, I don't know.
I'm glad that Radio Derby is so knowledgeable about our side. Yeah.
Well, I think he works for a scouting company. I'd have to look it up. I have to go back and check the archive for the show. It's just one of those. You're driving somewhere you never normally live, and you just hear this conversation. You think, it's an interesting sort of outside perspective of our window. I thought we've had a good window. I'm not going to disagree. I'm not going to say anything else. Right. Bold prediction times as we round up the show. Before we do, I'll get a couple of comments. Forest Green for life. Welcome in. I'm glad you're well. I say this with complete tongue-in-cheek joke. Forest Green says Champions of League 2. I hope to God we never sing that. I'm here all week. No, literally, I'm here all week. Lewis, hope a lack of sentiment from the bench doesn't come back to bite us. Rax Max. Edwards on the bench as advert to potential loan, which will benefit both him and the club. EJ says, subscribe and hit the like button. Good work, EJ. Keep banging that drum. The answer, what's wrong with 5? Half the team plays down the left. Well, I guess he was alluding to the lack of balance. I mean, as Tom just said, they wants that number 9. Number 9s when you points. Left backs not tend to really generally win you many points. I don't know. I wasn't on the show. I just thought it was an interesting sort of a tidbit to bring. Jem says 2-0 today. Rob says tough 2-1 win. Lloyd says 1-0. Got a feeling our Forest Green fan will say something completely different to what most of the chat will. But Tom, what is your bold prediction for today's game?
3-0. I don't know if it's the hangover talking, but I think 3-0.
What were you drinking last night, by the way?
Ale. and a bit of red wine.
Red wine.
Yeah.
Good word.
Yeah.
Love that.
Which
Which do you prefer, ale or red wine? Just as a question.
Oh, that's tough.
Is it?
Yeah, they've got their moments. Red wine on a Sunday, ale on a darts night in midweek. Ale, I'll go for ale overall.
Okay, ale. All right. 1-1 says the Forest Green fan. 3-0 says Murray. 4-0 says Michael Yorston. 2-1 from David. 4-0 from Adam. Has to be a statement win for Adam today. Ale all day, says Lloyd. EJ 2-1 Town on the new lawn. Tom says 3-0. Coxie.
I thought all week I sort of had a funny feeling for a 2-0. Obviously, not going to be a walkover 2-0. I think it's going to be, we're going to score and then get one in the closing moments to wrap it up 2-0. It's going to be a nervy 2-0. It's going to be 1-0 for a long while.
So not a Coxie 2-1.
Not a 2-1 today. No.
We want to be 2-1 today because you're never right, Coxie. You know you're never right.
I know, never right. No, a broken clock is right more than me. Yeah,
absolutely. Safety guy says no more singing, Gov, please. Safety guy, I will stop singing when your name on here turns green and you become a YouTube member. Until such times, I will sing. What should I sing next?
Shut the Gov up, safety man.
My
If you
bad
want that,
habits
man.
lead to late nights standing alone.
There
you go. But yeah. You know what to do, people. You know what to do. We're not back at halftime. We are back at full time. The moment the full time whistle goes, join us for the live match reaction. It will be Tom James, Coxie giving their expert, analytic, Rio Ferdinand type opinions and views. Well, it won't be because they'll be much more knowledgeable. I'm absolutely sure of that. I thought Peter Crouch, actually, as a side, was pretty good on BT Sport this morning. I was watching that. I thought he was pretty knowledgeable. I've come to like Peter Crouch as a player. I never liked him that much, Tom, but he's growing on me, like mould, I guess.
Yeah, I like him as a bloke. His podcast is very easy to listen to on a run as well. So if anyone's not listening to that,
is that one with Chris Stark?
Yeah, it was Chris Stark. It used to have Tom Fordyce, the old BBC editor, as well on there, but they've just switched it up, and now they've got a stat man with them, Statman Dave or something. But yeah, it's second series isn't as good as the first one, but it's all right.
Well, they never generally are. Anyway, we are back at full time. The moment the full time whistle goes, join us then. But until such time, become a YouTube member, subscribe on Ko-Fi, enjoy the game if you're watching it. If you're abroad, obviously. Sorry, I got some of my eye there. Sorry. Or enjoy Brendan Woolley. Is he still on Suffolk, Coxie?
As far as I know, I hadn't heard he's departed. So yeah.
No, all right. Good luck, Forest Green, says Lee Anderson. Lee, that's famous last words, mate. That's like, I don't like that. Don't be too arrogant, Town fans. We are still in League One for a reason. Craig says, I hope all three of you are singing after the match. Well, so do I. But until then, we'll see you all. At the moment, the full-time whistle goes. Hit the like button, subscribe on YouTube. But with love, with care. I haven't got an outro. I'll just play the intro again, I think.